Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sean, and today I'm going to just do a little recap of my thoughts and feelings about the London Eurovision party that took place last week, about over a week ago. So I've had some time to digest and settle my feelings a little bit. It was, needless to say, absolutely bloody amazing. One of my favorite nights. Would it be an exaggeration to say ever? I don't know. It surpassed all of my expectations. And I guess if any of you live in a city that holds one, then and you're able to get tickets, then I would implore you to do so. It was so fun, and it does soften the blow a bit of not being able to get tickets to any of the Eurovision performances myself. Congrats to all of you that managed to today. I think they did like the last batch of tickets for the shows at Liverpool, so well done. And yeah, I'm sure it's going to be amazing, but I'll be going to Liverpool, needless to say, just to soak up the vibes anyway, in the Euro Village. But yes, London Eurovision party. So I guess I've split it, like, I don't want to talk about all the performances, but I've got them in pairs, kind of. What I'll say is that I'm not going to talk about Sweden and Finland, because I expected amazing, and that's exactly what they delivered. I was not overwhelmed. I mean, I was very much overwhelmed seeing Loreen live, and hearing Euphoria live for the first time, but they brought what I expected them to just incredible, iconic performances. So I don't need to really, go into those two. We all knew what we were getting ourselves in for with them, and they delivered just that. Some honourable mentions that I won't talk about too much either, but are worth a little shout out, is Freya. The UK's entry for Junior Eurovision last year came on early and gave a performance of I Lose My Head. Just an absolute pop rocket. I think she has the potential to be an absolute star one day. I don't know how old she is, like 14, 15, and her vocals are just insane. And the confidence that she came out with as a literal child onto that stage full of however many thousands of people and just own it. I was blown away, so huge well done to her. She's an absolute diamond. Dilia from Iceland, this one I'm worried about, but she just brings so much to the performance. I know the song's called Power, and the power in her voice and the power in the face and the emotions that she brings, it just is, it is worth not overlooking. I do worry that Europe is going to do that just because the song does feel like it could have come out of 2016, 2017 Eurovision contest. But even though the song's not in any way groundbreaking, it is different this year. It is giving something a bit different, the electronic sort of drum and bassy sound. It is kind of standout. And she can really deliver it live, so I just hope that they elevate the staging from the national final performance at Eurovision. Next, Austria. Now, they were the ones I was, I guess, most excited for in the absence of France. And they opened the show, which I thought was or opened the show of like the Eurovision 2023 acts, which I just thought was a bit of a choice. I get that maybe they really wanted to start with a bang, and they did that. Teo and Selena brought the energy, and everyone was going buck wild. But I don't know. I would have probably enjoyed more of a build up to them. But maybe that's just me. But in any case, like the song, even though it's sort of a jokey, funny, memeable song, the way they harmonized and like connected and just worked the stage and with each other, it's nothing to laugh at. Like they're bringing a show, and so I have high hopes for them still. Yeah, I am very intrigued to see what they do on that stage to raise it up to sort of the levels that this song is attracting. And finally, Serbia. Again, Luke Black, I had high expectations. The song is just otherworldly, really. The production and it's just so unique this year. And I've always this whole time been worried about the vocals. I didn't notice them being, not refined at all during his performance. So that's allayed my worries a lot. I think, the song speaks for itself. I think it's going to grow as more of a fan favourite. And I think it will, I've got no doubt about it qualifying. I think it's going to do really well. So they were just honourable mentions. Let's actually talk about, I've managed to pair the rest of them into sort of categories. And if I have any clips, I'll sprinkle them throughout. But first of all, I'm going to talk about ones that I definitely underrated prior to seeing them live. There's two that I ranked far too low for how I felt when I saw them live. Australia, which was in my second to last position in my ranking of all the songs. I mean, they just blew the roof off the place. They brought energy like no other act out of, I think there was 25 or something of all the acts this year performing. Energy levels unmatched. The crowd loved it, and it's so hard to not get behind it when you're surrounded by an absolute sea of people going crazy. And I just allowed myself to get swept up for those 3 minutes, and very much enjoyed the ride that I was taken on. So it's still not to my taste per se. It wouldn't be, it hasn't grown hugely in my rankings, but my expectation was down here, and they just blew it out the water. I think I was too harsh. It was really good, is what I'm trying to say. And in a similar vein, Ireland, which I have been saying, it's just a bit too not innovative. Sounds like fresh out of a Eurovision songwriting factory. It doesn't actually matter. This is sort of what I realised when I was watching them perform and loving it and feeling euphoric by their song. In that moment when you're watching it live or whatever, when the performance is happening in front of you, and I guess when viewers see it for the first time, it doesn't really matter if it's not a groundbreaking new wave of writing of a song. It doesn't. It matters how you feel in those 3 minutes, and in the 3 minutes of Ireland performing, I loved it. I didn't want it to stop. It was the one that sort of went by the quickest for me. I was whoa. It just went by in a flash. I think the lead guy is called Connor, and he, contrary to what I got from the national final performance, he is an absolute stage man. That he was such a great performer. And I think again one that I underrated to start with, and both may well surprise us all, and qualify. We'll see. The next little category, my two growers. So like, I didn't necessarily underrate these, but coming out, how do I describe it? Coming out of the Eurovision party, these two songs became really like up there in my favorites, kind of. I like downloaded them on playlists and could really get behind them. Spain. The most mesmerizing performance of the night. And yeah, I can't overstate how her vocals like just went to my core, took over my body. I was just entranced by this woman. And I think it could win the jury vote. And it's needless to say, very much gone up in my rankings. I think it would possibly be a deserving winner after watching that live performance. Yeah, it grew a lot on me in that moment. And since then, I've seen another performance of Blanca Paloma changing the intro to the song again in her live performance. And I know that there's not much time, but if she could incorporate some of that slow burn build into the opening of the song in Liverpool, I think she could lock in a jury win for Spain. I might be crazy, but I don't know, man. It's you can't ignore the talent. That it's unreal. And the other big grower was Portugal. The most likable performance and the most likable artist of the entire night. I could not help but smile. The vocals, which I didn't really necessarily appreciate at all watching her in her national final, again, unreal. I think the song doesn't, because it's so bouncy around, it's easy to get swept up in the campiness of it and just sort of go along for the ride and be bopping along and smiling. But if you actually take a second to listen at like the intricacies of the vocal agility that her voice has to do, yeah, kudos, major kudos. And she just was a ray of sunshine, honestly. She just made me smile. And yeah, that song, banger, actually. So Spain and Portugal, for sure, the two biggest growers for me. And then finally, the two winners of the night, I guess, is how I should describe these next two. I'll get the obvious one out of the way first, the UK. It's hard, I guess, not to be a bit biased, but seeing it live, seeing May work the stage, just side note, I think she actually may be one of the most beautiful women I've ever seen. Like, breathtakingly beautiful, just the face. And I mean, that it doesn't matter, but just side note, she is absolutely out of this world. And yeah, I think she's my age, and I thought, I was nervous that she's just not experienced enough, I suppose. to be able to nail a live performance. I mean, I know she's obviously been in the industry for a little while, but I've just put myself in her shoes. She's my age, and like, especially, I know we don't know what will happen, but I just think about the pressure of closing this show, watching the likes of Loreen and such perform, and then she's got to go out there and somehow close it. But I think she's taking it in her stride, and hopefully she can just enjoy it and there won't be any crazy nerves. But in any case, on the night, she also closed the show. She headlined, and I guess it helped that she was, you know, working a home crowd, but then hopefully that will also help her in Liverpool. It's a home crowd and they're going to go absolutely nuts for her, as they did in London. Killed it. The song is just a bop. It's so catchy. I think I take that for granted, just how much of a catchy banger it is, because I know it so well now. But I think she's going to do us so proud this year, and I am so chuffed. I mean, it may turn out that Sam Ryder was a fluke, but I don't know. I think she's our best chance of proving that that wasn't a fluke, and that if the UK send a competitive package, we can do well and hopefully end up in top 10. And then finally, my other winner of the night, Monica Linkytė from Lithuania. What she did on that stage, she brought, I mean, it was more special than any performance I've seen, but it was because she brought on a London gospel choir, and when I say that took the song to just different heights, it was, yeah, I felt like I was in a movie. She's got one of my favourite vocals of the entire contest this year, and boy, can she do that live. Like, she's not even trying. And yeah, just with the gospel choir behind her, the chanting, the crowd were absolutely eating her up. Anything she was selling, they were all buying. And I was just so happy to see the support Lithuania was getting. And I just hope that that also comes across for first-time viewers. Obviously, she can't have a choir of like 12 whatever people on stage with her at Liverpool, if only she could. But hopefully with the 6 that are on stage, it'll be enough to capture the hearts of the viewers. So yeah, those are my thoughts. A little recap. None of the performances were bad, I must say. I can't really shit talk any of them, but those are the ones that I thought, yeah, a little mention for those of you who couldn't be there. But yeah, for sure, it was my first one I've ever been to, and I absolutely will be trying at least to go to them in future, because it was just the funnest night ever. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye for now.